What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the Ford GPW Rescue. This is a 1943 Ford GPW World War II military Jeep that we rescued in our last video from its 60-year wooded grave. We got this thing running. It actually runs really well, and we kind of sort of got it moving under its own power. But in today's episode, we're gonna clean this thing up a little bit, address a few issues that it has. We're gonna get some fresh, original style tires and tubes put on this thing. We're gonna rebuild all of the brakes. We're gonna try to get it moving and driving under its own power for the first time in at least 60 years. And maybe we'll try to hit a trail or two. You'll probably notice we've messed with a few things since the last time, just to kind of see where we're at. I noticed there was quite a bit of confusion with this thing because there were some extra parts added onto it. The original base, the Jeep here that we start with, is serial number 101037 from 1943 Ford GPW. In fact, if you look right here, you can see the U-shaped beam and that big old F script right there hiding. Now the tub has been swapped because they bolt on, they're completely different, but it is also World War II. You can see right here, 25915, and that is a 1945 Willis MB tub. So basically the same thing with just a few minute differences. And that's one thing we're gonna kind of have to decide moving forward. Do we put a Ford tub back on this thing, or do we just keep it a cool cruiser and preserve its history? The fact that a lot of these did get swapped out with a bunch of crazy parts. Now, I think what has thrown most people off thinking it is just a civilian Jeep is this grille, the windshield that we've pulled off, and that Sears topper. This is a 7-slat M38. You can actually see the original military paint underneath. So this is also off a military Jeep, just a later one. The windshield was also M38. And these wheels right here, again, looking down, you can see that original military green underneath are 16-inch, so they're correct, but they're not the two-piece like the GPW would have been. Not a big deal. That's an astronomical amount of money to change wheels. I think those will be just fine, but we did get the right grille and the right flip-up headlights for this thing because I think it's definitely what make these little GPWs. I want to get the pressure washer out. There's a lot of original paint actually hiding underneath and flaking off. And so let's pressure wash it and see what this thing looks like. Obviously there's a lot of rust and I don't know. We want to get this thing going. We want to enjoy it. Do we do a full restoration? But in this episode, let's get this thing driving at least. That is insane how resilient that original paint is. All those years, obviously being covered up helped a ton, but the pressure washer was pretty harsh. I mean, it blew most of this paint off. It's cool, literally bringing back history with just a pressure washer. One thing to not forget on this side of the Jeep, reverse threads. It feels a little counterintuitive. One thing that drives me nuts on this thing, and it's obvious it's thrown a lot of people through a loop, is the grill. Somebody at some point of time in the 80 something years this thing has been alive, swapped it out for a M38 grill. You noticed in the beginning of the first video when we rescued this thing, there was actually an M38 sitting next to it, so it's obvious the previous owner had M38s, and that's probably why this thing was swapped around. Now that one, I wish we could have rescued too. It was extremely rough, no floor pans, but somebody else had purchased it already, and we were just happy to be able to get and rescue this one. We did end up getting a new one. I wish we could get an original, but they're just absolutely astronomical. This was a much more reasonable. It came from India, and it looks like it got run over by a truck. So it was extra inexpensive. We did get some back on it, and it is twisted up. The whole body's twisted. This is folded down. This is crunched over. This is folded down. It's budget, so it's okay. We'll get this one pulled. We'll straighten this one, throw a little bit of paint on it, and this thing should be looking a little bit more like itself. My goodness, I can't believe that come out of there. I think we'll most likely have to redo this wiring. So I'm not going to worry about just cutting it. And hopefully we can get a full kit, but that is all that paper. It is all that threaded stuff, and it is just disintegrating. That's battery. That's from that battery tray. We'll have to do these. You can buy new with the F script on them. We'll have to do a little bit of repair here, a little bit here. You can see the F script on the front C tube. It needs a little work, but it's savable. They also left out the tabs for the marker lights. Brand new grill on a crusty old Ford. Oh my goodness, I love it. What a unique and really cool vehicle. So I'm gonna apologize. You're gonna continue to see me kind of geek out over random little trinkets, little things we find on this thing. Now the paint, this olive drab. You'll notice this is some funky color. This is olive drab, this is US Marine Corps green. This fender, you cannot see this one very well, but there's an F script right there. This one's very obvious, a big F script right there. So those are the original front wings on this thing. This is weird. That's got a tire pressure 35. This is kind of olive drabby, right? This has a tire pressure 30, and this is kind of US Marine Corps green. You can see that darker, now on camera it actually looks pretty close. I'm not sure. Tell me what you think. Is this a US Marine Corps forest green, or is it an olive drab, and what color? Because more than likely, even though the tire pressure is different, these are the original front wings to this thing, the original front fenders. And I'd like to go correct with colors. Do we go forest US Marine Corps green, or do we do the Army olive drab? Let's see what we're working with. First, we need to pull the axle. That was easy. Oh. Why is there rust on the... Is this sealed to here? Gotta be, right? Got a lock washer back here where it's bent over the nut. It's crazy as this stuff doesn't even smell like grease anymore. It's like chalk, I don't know. It's a big old 2 1/16 nut. And then you've got a little lock ring here in the middle. There it goes, wiggling loose. There's your bearing. It's just literally just turned to oil. Wow, look how pretty that bearing is though. You can tell that was encapsulated well, super sealed, and I'm sure the original bearing. And then you have another washer. And let's see what we got. Oh, yummy. You can see the rust ring. We've been turning this thing around, but that is not a horrible looking drum for being 80 something years old. Get these old, I probably shouldn't be touching these. You can see even though they're riveted, they've all come unglued, and that's why you got to be careful, especially with unriveted ones. The boots have completely deteriorated. There's no boots left, and that's just pure crust. There's no way that wheel cylinder would ever function. But that is the simplest brake setup I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure these bottom bolts are cammed, so when you twist them, that's how you adjust them. I think the most efficient way to getting all this cleaned up and making them nice is to just pull this entire backing plate. With the dust cap pulled, we see the cotter pin and our outer axle nut. It is so nice to see, even as crusty as this thing is, everything was sealed up pretty nice up here. Oh, how cool. Even the little spacer here has an F script on it. It's like finding little treasures. That is so neat. This is a big part before driving too. You can see all of our grease here has pretty much turned to oil, as old grease does over time. Cicadas are going to town this morning. As soon as I said something, fine. And then off comes our drum. Sweet. Here we can see a big F script right there on the axle. Wow, they clean up good, don't they? Mm-hmm. So cool. Using a socket, we can drop out our bearing, and that also drops out the inner seal. It's crazy to see the rubber disintegrate, but that old leather still holding on strong. This original F script seal right here, and then this later replacement one. But those are pretty rough, so we got some new ones. I know we're just trying to get this thing driving, but this grease is so bad that I'm gonna try to grease up all the stuff we have access to. I just hate to potentially destroy something by not doing this, and we'll more than likely be back in this stuff later on. I mean, that is just gross. Right there. What's going on there?
It broke.
It's missing the piece, the ball's gone, and you can see where it rubbed.
That's what's got a crack right here.
What's crazy is this is the one that still had all the Ford bolts and everything. And everything's out of there. So I wonder if this happened out when it was in service and it broke and they just pulled this piece out and got by, and it's been like that ever since. Because it's they cleaned it all out. You can see a little rubbing, but there's no ball or anything. So that's an old brake, but we probably want to get another in there. Something interesting you'll also notice on this, the big brakes, which are normally big back on the rear, actually on the front on the GPW and MB. I did see that doing some research, and it is exactly that way here on this. Gotta be one of the prettiest. We should probably clean that up a little bit. Yeah.
History.
Before reinstalling our outer hub stuff here, I'd like to get our brakes adjusted, and we're just gonna adjust it how they adjust them. You've got 2 on the bottom here, 2 on the top. We'll kick these out until they start rubbing, and then we'll back it off just a little bit, and then same with these. Then you've got a 3/4 lock nut that we can lock right here, and a 9/16 that will lock up here. Right there. I'll kick it off just a smidge. Making just a little adjustment to this wrench to make it easier to tighten up those bottom 3/4 nuts. And we'll just keep it with tools in the Jeep to do brake adjustments. It's cool how convenient and practical that is. You could definitely be doing brake work and adjustments out in the field pretty easily. Now I am not a mud bugger. This is just going to be a little trail rig and cruiser, but I'm putting a little bit of sealant on here just to keep moisture out. Well, this is where things just get to snowballing. We can't exactly grease all the outside and not replace, at least check the fluid in here, because the axles didn't look crusty. You never know, there might be some moisture in there. Pretty sure we're gonna have to get these junction joints, and the rear is not as bad as the front, but whew. Why did nothing come out? Oh. Man, that looks like, that's pretty red. It doesn't smell like modern gear open. It's like, almost doesn't even have a smell. Why is there teeth missing? Oh, the pits, look at the pits in the gears. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there was a little moisture in here. Oh, what is this? Oh, the moisture turned, what the? It's like congealed, what? Yeah, I'm glad we did this, but maybe, am I? Because, oh, there was a drain plug. Oh, hey, look, here's a piece of gear. That's old. That's been like that for a long time. It's like mud. Right. Guess you just don't need all the gears, you know? I think we're safe to run it for now. It seems, it's obviously an old issue, but I think in the future we'll do a set of spider gears in there. These out ones, even with the pitting's probably fine on something like this. F script, F script, F script. I love it. It's so cool. Well, that's why we're changing it. Oh, good. Shock on it. Oh. Oh, excuse me. Taco Bell. gosh. Yeah, this makes the other one look good.
So grease turns to oil, and oil turns to grease.
With the 4 corners done, our last bit here is this master cylinder.
Didn't need that bolt.
Yeah, you stepping on that pedal got the master cylinder twisting, which might allow us to get it off of the... No joke. Oh man, I think the cotter pin broke in half. I think I can get it out. Sweet. There's the push rod. Bent it a little bit, but I think we can heat it and straighten it up. Woo! Check it out. So, through bolt broke, we're able to walk that crusty thing out of there. Whew. Let's see if we can save this little junction, because we definitely need it. The best luck I've had doing this is cutting your lines, getting on here with a socket, pulling it out. Absolutely not. Boy. Unfortunately, those brake lines are one with this T-fitting. Now they're available, but we won't have it today. We're trying to get this thing done today. So we'll throw this on for now, and when we do our next video, we'll get the correct T and replace it. This is just a fitting. This is just a hose that'll bypass our hose for now and has an attached fitting to it. Now with those crusty brake lines in mind, they're gone, obviously. And we splurged a little bit, but I've never seen a $90-something full brake line kit, and so I felt it was definitely worth the time. All these complicated bends and everything, and this really nice finish. And so we just bought an entire kit. Came with our little S lines, all of our little clamps, every little bit of it. So that is really, really neat, and a lot of stuff that take a lot of time to piece together, and it all came right there. This will make our brake lining a little bit easier. I feel like this made the most sense.
That's nice. Oh, yeah, that's better.
It's not often we have all new. And again, please. That is beautiful. And hit the brake, please. Nice. Good bit of air there. And again, please. That's really nice. All right, hit your brake. Sweet. Beautiful. Sweet. Beautiful. Dude, that is probably the first time in a half a century this thing has had brakes. How's that pedal feel?
Nice.
Awesome. With all new fluids, we have one left to take care of, and that is the transmission transfer case. We can't forget it. Wow. I can't believe there's no water in this. There's not a ton of fluid, but it's pretty good looking. It's not super gross in here like the differentials, so that's nice. But it'll definitely benefit from some fresh fluid. It's better to be safe than sorry though. Although it is together, I'm gonna check, just make sure nothing comes out of the transmission. Oh my goodness. Oh, yep. Oh man, yeah, a little bit. Well, I'm glad we drained that. Wait, but that's supposed to be together with the transfer case. It must not be. Well, that makes sense. I was wondering why it was so dry, even though that's been open. Thank goodness there wasn't a ton of... Oh, we took the cab off. Okay, so the transmission and the transfer case are obviously separate. Thank goodness this thing had a cab on it, because that's just some fresh water that's gotten in it over the past few rainstorms. And it's good we're getting some fresh in it right now, because we'd have a crusty transmission. We're gonna fill the transmission back up first, and that can be done from right here on top. We should be able to just pull this shifter out, and then we'll fill up to the fill plug. And this is gonna take a GL1 SA90 weight, and this is a mineral oil. That's because this transmission and transfer case are full of brass parts. Oh my, no wonder the shifter doesn't work well. I might want to vacuum that up. Yum. What?
I don't know, if you want a mess, I'll make a mess.
All right.
Where's the fill on the...
This is the fill hole for the transfer case.
Oh, look at this.
It's right there. All right. Throw it here on our tire machine. It's a little old school, but it works, hopefully.
Some stinky air. going now.
Funny is the worst looking wheel is still the nicest on the inside. A little bit of moisture where the plug was, where the valve stem comes through, but they're crunchy. They're really crunchy. Thank goodness they use tubes. They'll clean up, they're structurally sound, and they're not rusted through. They're just a little crunchy, but that's okay. We like crunchy. Getting these cleaned up, we can see these wheels where their original military green paint. And if you look right here, you can see the Kelsey Hayes stamp and a 1951 date code. I don't think you'll be able to see this, a little tiny 51. So that tells us, sure enough, those are M38 originally. But they look pretty good on there too. Oh, sorry.
That's funny. Okay. Okay. Don't put fingers back.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
I like it.
She is on her way back to where she should be. That is awesome. We're just about ready. We've got a few things to address under the hood up there, and then we're ready to drive this thing. The most major issue we need to address before driving is when we moved this thing to this spot, this oil cinder line right here,
It's gone.
is gone. Yeah, that's it. I just touched it. Did you see that? It's odd. Rubber disintegrates. Let's see if we can bypass it for now, and then we'll get the correct. I think we could actually just do line. Let's put a line in place. I guess it's supposed to, you know, for shaking, but if we can get a line in there to get us by, I'll order a hose. Next major thing to address is this thing does not run quite right. This distributor's not super happy. It's not very adjustable. These cap straps are just barely hanging on, and there's no timing advance. Now the issue is they want $195 for the pod, for the vacuum advance pod. $195, and that doesn't include the straps, that doesn't include a cap, that doesn't include wires. Next best option for $125, we get a full brand new distributor. This is 12 volt, comes with a cap and brand new wires. The biggest difference with this one it is a mechanical advance, so we don't have to worry about having that pod on there, hooking it up or anything. What's cool is because we're on a flat drive here, we should be able to just pull this one out and drop this one right back in its place. And lastly, we've got to get this hunk of boat anchor generator out of here. And we want to make this thing usable, so we're going to throw an alternator in place of it. Oh my gosh! Of course, we couldn't just go buy a kit and pay full price, so we did some deal hunting and bought the cheapest stuff we could. Cheap bracket set, looks pretty nice. And then a GM alternator with the big pulley for the correct belt. See if we can get this, make this work. The only thing I'm noticing, our faceplate is not GPW, it's off of the Henry J, so it's part of the Kaiser supersonic engine here, so it's gonna be a little different, but we'll make it work. Right there. See if we got any fire. Oh yeah. See if this thing will run again with its new ignition system. Hopefully we got it close enough. Hopefully the lighting's okay. We got our little tent under here because it's 100 degrees today and a little shade's nice. That did really well, surprising. Years. This is the most uncomfortable position ever. This is the coolest thing ever. Woo! See ya. They're better than you'd expect them to be.
Got this.
We gotta do some shifting work. He didn't even struggle. Whew. This thing is so much fun. 60 years, we just drove this little World War II Ford GPW. We took it on a couple trails. Now, I'd love to get out and actually start trailing this thing. But before we can do that, we're missing a little bit of a frame on the front of this thing, which you can buy a replacement for, and we will repair. And the transfer case is puking its guts everywhere, which is why there was basically no fluid in there. And we don't want to burn something that is 80 plus years old up. Although you can buy stuff to fix it, why fix it when it's not broken yet? Man, what a fun rescue. And I really hope you all have enjoyed. You want to see more on this? We'll have to figure out where to go with the body itself. Leave your comments down below. My only thoughts with the tub and the fenders. The fenders are original Ford, have the F script. They are actually super solid with the exception of a little work we need to do on the inside. The tub's actually really good shape for something this old. You can buy a brand new Ford script tub, pretty reasonable, but what's the history on this thing? Did this thing get destroyed in combat and another tub thrown on over there somewhere or something? Was it here? Who knows? It's just a really cool piece of history, and I'm not sure where to go, but I do know in our next video we're gonna pull the tub and fully restore this chassis. And then we're gonna fully restore the drivetrain. Then we'll decide what to do and get it all back together. If you guys wanna see a restoration on this little GPW, be sure to subscribe button, notification bell to keep up with our future uploads on this rebuild, our other rescues and rebuilds. And if you happen a part of the channel, we do appreciate it so incredibly much. We get to do some fun rescues, and we get to do it because of each and every one of you. So thank you all so much. Peace out, and catch you all on the flip side.